Are you feeling trapped in a cycle of failed weight loss attempts, especially now that you're over 40? You're not alone, and it's not your fault. As we mature, our bodies evolve, and what used to work for us in our 20s simply doesn't cut it anymore. But what if I told you that understanding your body's changes and adapting your lifestyle could unlock the secret to shedding those stubborn pounds? It's not just about losing weight. It's about gaining a vibrant, fulfilling lifestyle where you feel empowered, rejuvenated, and unstoppable. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Gayla Gorman, a licensed acupuncturist, naturopath, and author of What's Your Kryptonite? On this channel, I'm here to help you reverse the effects of chronic stress so that you can cruise through menopause symptom-free, so that you can put an end to menopausal weight gain and the fat that comes with it. So, why is losing weight so hard after 40? Well, stress triggers the release of cortisol, a hormone that makes you crave high-fat, carb-heavy foods. Menopause is actually adding stress. But in an article in The Guardian, it pointed out that some stress is actually helpful, even in midlife. We know this as eustress or the good stress. This is the stress caused by actually putting ourselves in situations that cause a little positive stress. So one of those is gentle exercise, maybe even a little strength building, weight training, even potentially learning something new that causes mental stress and challenges us. All of those good stressors can help actually offset some of the stress that might actually potentially turn to toxic stress because we've got this cortisol spike going on. So we're essentially trying to, in healthy, positive ways, burn off the extra energy caused by this stress. The other thing, too, that's important to recognize is that estrogen dominance promotes insulin resistance, and that's what causes the belly fat buildup. So you really are in a catch-22. Estrogen is retreating, which is contributing to your hormonal imbalances, including those hormonal imbalances that are causing belly fat buildup, but trying to artificially restore hormones is going to end up backfiring on you because we can never restore hormones in the way that our body would create them naturally. So as we're working to keep stress in check, it can be really helpful to understand how impactful stress is. I like to talk about a research study that pointed out that stress creates disease. 90%. Now, actually, that statistic may seem high, but I actually find that it's probably higher than that because they're not really factoring in all the ways that stress shows up and creates toxicity in our world. So it's really important that we use these stress reduction techniques like gentle exercise that I talked about just a moment ago, mindfulness practice where you maybe are meditating or learning to do something that really just brings you into a more relaxed state. Yoga can be really helpful, or even walking. Walking is one of the best forms of exercise. It really just ticks a lot of boxes. And if you will walk in nature and really just enjoy your surroundings, really notice and appreciate where you are and the beauty, it will really help you to bring your stress levels down. It's important that you make balanced lifestyle choices. If you know that you are burning the candle at both ends, this is the time in your life where you're just not going to get away with that strategy anymore. You are going to have to recognize when you need to take a break, and not just when you need to take a break, actually take that break. And that's probably going to require more than just a 3-day weekend away. Sometimes I find that those 3-day weekend getaways, I come back needing a vacation from my vacation. You're going to need to really figure out how you're going to be able to manage this stress that is being created internally by your body side by side with the stress that you're already experiencing. So this is just one of the ways that stress creates symptoms and other health issues, especially during menopause. I created a video that shows you how to eliminate menopause symptoms naturally, so I'll make sure to link to it below this video. But make sure you hit subscribe too, because I share a lot of tips when it comes to dealing with stress that's become toxic. Relieving the nasty symptoms stress creates makes navigating through menopause a breeze. So let's talk in depth here about using intermittent fasting to help us maintain our weight and also to control the fat accumulation. And extra bonus, it's going to really jumpstart healing. So they did some research studies on fasting and actually proved that adopting an early time restricted eating pattern was what was most helpful. And what that means is that it matters more when you eat than what you eat even. And so if you can consume your last meal most days. Now, we want to vary our approach to this so that we don't have our body get used to doing one thing repeatedly and then it will just adjust to it and it will stop working. This is just what you're going to do 3, 4, 5 days a week. You're going to eat your last meal at least by 6 p.m. It actually works even better if that is by about 4 p.m. But if you're accustomed to eating dinner later, then just start with 6 p.m. And you definitely want to stop snacking. We were all taught that eating every couple of hours was what we needed to do to really make sure that our body was constantly being fueled. And this is actually the opposite thing you should be doing. You really want to be eating a satisfying meal, and then you want to not eat until your next satisfying meal. And in this period of your life, I tend to find that 2 satisfying meals a day are enough. And as long as you're getting nutrient dense, healthy, high quality food in those 2 meals, you're going to be well sustained. The important thing to recognize is that you want to be eating whole food, not diet food. You're going to find that diet food often includes preservatives and artificial ingredients that are not going to agree with your body and will sabotage your efforts. Next, I want to really emphasize protein. You need to be getting about 50 grams of protein a day. So if you're eating 2 meals, that means you've got to eat 20 to 30 grams of protein in each of those 2 meals. Keep in mind too that eating more protein in a single meal isn't going to help you. Your body can only digest so much protein in about a 2-hour window. So if you are eating more protein than that, it's really just getting stored just like anything else. So eating these high protein meals, 50, 60, 100 grams of protein in one meal is not going to help you. That's going to sabotage your efforts as well. And then we also want to make sure that our minerals are staying balanced. So with fasting, it's really easy for your minerals to really get out of whack. And so we want to make sure that we are supplementing with minerals, including magnesium and sodium and potassium. All of these minerals are critical to having our body work properly. One of the key things you'll notice if your minerals are deficient is you'll notice that you're getting cramps in the middle of the night. If you're finding that your legs are cramping up, just get up and take some magnesium and go back to bed. In about a half an hour, you'll be back to sleep. and your cramps will stop. So that's just a little hack there that you might find really helpful. And if you feel like you've been living a healthy lifestyle and do all the things you've been led to think are supposed to work and aren't getting the job done, you may even be feeling like you take 2 steps forward and 3 back. In my next video, I'll show you how to manage the toxic stress that's sabotaging your efforts. You can eliminate the symptoms that seem to be piling up in midlife naturally without medication, crazy diets, intense exercise, or any other unsustainable lifestyle hack.